So today there was a question last week from the dragon episode that was in YouTube. And to remind you guys before I go into that, I want to remind everybody that this live chat, you're going to catch it live here on YouTube, but then it's not going to be found on YouTube. We'll have little clips. And if you want to catch the entire chat, you need to sign on to our emailing list, and you will get emailed a link to the entire chat. So if you want to share it with somebody or what have you, and you can also access it on our webpage. The reason why we're doing this is because I'm not so good about censoring myself, and I say things that trip up the bots, the AI bots that comb through the channels. I mean, I'm having videos pulled from years ago, and this is long before the COVID shenanigans going on, so I'm clearly speaking about things that are flagged in some way. And, it's most likely that it's a truth, a reveal that is, they don't want revealed for whatever reason. The powers that be don't want revealed for whatever reason. And so because of that, we're not putting the whole chats anymore on YouTube. So you need to come to our website or sign our emailing list to get emailed that link. So that's that. All right. Now, one of the clips from a couple weeks ago was posted in our on our YouTube channel, and there was a comment, and it was a simple comment. But what happened was the ancestors and the star people started to show up, and other elemental beings started to show up and really talk to me about this. So I realized that dear sister Starshine, Singh Bharati, there's something to this question that you asked me, and there's something probably to you. I imagine you are a tuned in interdimensional being working at waking up your perceptions. And the question was so simple, and it's, how can I see my past lives? I know who I am, but I'm not able to tap into those lives or my soul's origin. Not even able to tap into my psychic powers, they say. Now, there's a lot to that. And I did give a little response, but because the ancestors chimed in and the elementals started coming forward while I was considering that question, that tells me that it's important. Maybe it's important for them personally, but I imagine more it's important collectively for me to talk about this because, as I said, reality is not what we think it is. So when people say they can't tap into their intuition or their psychic powers, or they can't recall their past lives, it's because their reality is framed up in such a way that they're not able to realize what they're tapped into and truly what's not. Now, I know, guys, I get it. I didn't think I had any psychic abilities either, but when you know it, as I was waking myself up through soul retrievals and really deep light body healings, I realized that I've been seeing this whole time. I just didn't know that that's what I was seeing. You see what I mean? And that was part of what my comment was. But this got cracked open to a much bigger topic, a much bigger level that I need to be talking about. So, and it's about this reality is not what we think it is, the dream time, the waking dream and the sleeping dream. Okay. So you guys ever see the Truman Show, or about the Truman Show? A lot of people talk about it nowadays, even though it's an old movie made. It's with starring Jim Carrey and some other people, good actors that I like, but I can't remember their names right now. So for those of you that don't know about this movie, it's pretty much this guy gets raised in a reality TV show. Everything around him is replicated. Everything is created. It's like the entire town that he lives in is a set. All his friends are all actors. Everything gets filmed and broadcast as episodes, but he himself, everybody's in on it, but he himself has no idea that he's living through a replicated reality. He has no idea. It's all simulated around him. It wasn't until he gets older and things start happening did he start questioning things. And then he would ask people who we thought was his friends, have you noticed anything weird? Have you noticed anything different? Right? And all of his friends are actually the actors that are part of this TV show. And of course, they're not going to be honest with him. Okay. That's a lot like what this reality is, especially Western world. Okay. Everything that we see on TV, all the media, all of the constructs that we call education and medicine and science and all this stuff, it's all Truman Show. Okay. And this is why I suspect why so many people get super triggered with the idea that we're living in a holographic reality, because that means they could possibly be living in a simulation that's not actually happening the way they think it is. And the fact is that is true in the sense that reality is not what we think it is. It's really a waking dream. Okay. Now, we have dreams within dreams, of course. Many people have had this kind of experience where you wake up, especially sleeping, you wake up out of a dream and you think you're up, but then you don't, but then you wake up again, right? These are very significant activating moments. These are milestone moments when you have dreams like this, because it's showing you an aspect of your DNA dance is activated and waking up and beginning to move again. Okay, come online. DNA is consciousness, and most of our DNA isn't used, isn't active, isn't awake. So we awaken DNA by expanding and awakening our consciousness, and vice versa. It works both ways. And working with Dreamtime is an accelerated way of expanding your awareness. It's an accelerated way of activating your DNA dance. And that activating the DNA dance, working with Dreamtime and tracking into it and having feeling and all this stuff when you're working with Dreamtime, this also activates and properly orientates your psychic intuitive abilities. Okay. Working with people who are dying, being an end of care practitioner, that awakens your psychic intuitive abilities, whether you realize it or not. That's the thing. Most people don't realize, because everything they take in, they quantify according to something they already think, believe, they rationalize. What they can't rationalize, they end up dismissing. Okay. Now, I think if you show of hands of the folks that are here, how many have had an intuitive gut feeling, didn't listen to it, and then later realized, oh my God, I was right. I knew, I knew in my gut, right? This is exactly what we do with psychic intuitive data sets. That's exactly how it works. We get the hit intuitively or knowing wise, or maybe we'll even see something, but we'll instantly find some way to dismiss it. And this is programming, not just in our subconscious, like technologically kind of stuff, but it's also programming via the nesting dolls of our multidimensional reality is shutting that down. It's like you have that little opening there, and because it gets dismissed, it's like, imagine that opening is like that part of the DNA dance. It's trying to wake up, it's like a little ripple, and we get it, and then we dismiss it, and then it goes, and then gets locked down again. And then we see something else again, and then we dismiss it, and then it gets locked down again. But if you see something and you do something with it, now you're starting to accommodate with your consciousness that movement. You see what I mean? That awakening.